Well, welcome everyone to the PEEPS Time.
Hello, friends. Today we're going to talk about something very special, families. Have you ever wondered, do all children have a family? Families are important because they give us love, care, and support. But did you know that not all families look the same? Let's explore together and learn more about the different kinds of families that exist in the world. A family is a group of people who love and take care of each other. Families can look different. Some children live with both their mom and dad, some live with just one parent, and some are raised by grandparents, aunts, uncles, or even foster parents. But no matter what a family looks like, the most important thing is love and care. I live with my grandpa and grandma. They take care of me, help me with my homework, and tell me the best bedtime stories. That sounds wonderful, Alex. Grandparents can be an important part of a family too. They share wisdom, kindness, and so much love. Families come in all shapes and sizes, but they all have one thing in common: love. What about orphans? Some children don't have parents to take care of them, and they live in a place called an orphanage. An orphanage is a home for children who don't have families of their own. But guess what? Even in an orphanage, children are surrounded by people who love and care for them, like their teachers, caregivers, and friends. I live in an orphanage, but I have lots of friends here. We play, study, and even have birthday parties together. Our caregivers help us with our schoolwork, and we all support each other like a big family. That's amazing, Mia. So nice to hear that love and friendship can be found everywhere. And sometimes children in orphanages find new families through something called adoption. Adoption and foster families. Adoption is when a child finds a forever family that welcomes them with love and care. When parents adopt a child, they promise to take care of them, love them, and give them a safe and happy home. I've been a foster dad to many kids. Each one is special, and I make sure they feel safe and loved while they stay with me. That's so kind, Mr. Henry. Foster families help children who need a safe place to stay until they can go back to their own families or find a new home. Even if a child doesn't have parents, there are always people out there who want to help and make sure they feel loved and cared for. How can we help? There are so many ways we can help children who don't have a family. Even small acts of kindness can make a big difference. Let's hear some ideas from our friends. I share my toys with my friend who doesn't have many. I help by writing letters to children in foster care to make them feel special. My family volunteers at shelters to help kids feel loved. Wow! You all are amazing helpers. No matter how small an act of kindness may seem, it can bring so much happiness to someone who needs it. Let's always try to be kind and helpful to others. Family is about love. So, do all children have a family? Not always in the way we might think, but every child deserves love and care. Family isn't just about who we live with, it's about the people who love and support us. Think about the people in your life who make you feel safe and cared for. Maybe it's your parents, grandparents, teachers, or best friends. These people are your family too, because family is all about love, care, and kindness. Thank you for learning with us today. Remember, kindness and love make the world a better place. If you ever see someone who needs a friend or a helping hand, don't be afraid to share kindness. See you next time for another exciting adventure. Bye-bye.
Well, welcome everyone to the PEEPS Time.
Fruits come from different trees and plants, each playing a vital role in nature and our diet. From towering trees to small bushes, these plants provide us with delicious and nutritious fruits. Let's explore different fruits and the trees they grow on. A star fruit comes from a star fruit tree. A durian comes from a durian tree. A mangosteen comes from a mangosteen tree. A sapodilla comes from a sapodilla tree. A rambutan comes from a rambutan tree. A sarsop comes from a sarsop tree. A custard apple comes from a custard apple tree. A longan comes from a longan tree. A loquat comes from a loquat tree. Camu camu comes from a camu camu tree. An ackee comes from an ackee tree. A jabuticaba comes from a jabuticaba tree. A marong comes from a marong tree. A mamancio comes from a mamancio tree. A langsat comes from a langsat tree. A salak comes from a salak palm. A breadfruit comes from a breadfruit tree. A balimbi comes from a balimbi tree. A feijoa comes from a feijoa tree. A white sapote comes from a white sapote tree. A chempedak comes from a chempedak tree. A santal comes from a santal tree. K-apple comes from a K-apple tree. An apricot comes from an apricot tree. A grapefruit comes from a grapefruit tree. Kiwi grows on a kiwi vine. Passion fruit grows on a passion fruit vine. A blueberry grows on a blueberry bush. A raspberry grows on a raspberry bush. A blackberry grows on a blackberry bush. A strawberry grows on a strawberry plant. A dragon fruit grows on a dragon fruit cactus. An avocado comes from an avocado tree. Cashew comes from a cashew tree. An olive comes from an olive tree. Coconut comes from a coconut palm. A fig comes from a fig tree. A date comes from a date palm. A papaya comes from a papaya tree. A guava comes from a guava tree. A lychee comes from a lychee tree. A jackfruit comes from a jackfruit tree. A persimmon comes from a persimmon tree. An apple comes from an apple tree. A banana grows on a banana plant. An orange comes from an orange tree. A lemon comes from a lemon tree. A pear comes from a pear tree. A peach comes from a peach tree. A plum comes from a plum tree. Cherry comes from a cherry tree. A pomegranate comes from a pomegranate tree. Kindly like, share, and subscribe to Peeps Time. Thanks for watching.